Hello everybody, and welcome back to Animal Crossing City Folk. Today, we know we're not going to have to worry about watering anything, because it just rained yesterday. Which is kind of funny, because we also didn't have to really worry about watering anything then, either. Where's my umbrella? Okay, it's all the way around here. Item rotations. Well, let's talk to Pom Pom. Here, darling. Good morning, Rara. She's just saying this again. Say something new next time. Jeez. You're so boring. Okay, now let's see. We did buy 900 turnips, which I legitimately regretted doing the moment I did it. Fireworks show. Okay. Start of summer. It's been summer for a while now. But okay. 7 p.m. on this coming Sunday. That's gonna be interesting for me, and Nook's having a sale. And he's probably not having a proper sale. It's just how Nook is. Now, I'll note, by the time this goes out, it'll be too late. Because this is Monday. The EVE Online Alliance tournament's going on at the time of me recording this. And yeah, it's an interesting watch. If you were ever possibly interested in EVE and want to see what some of the best PvPers in the game are doing, go and watch the Alliance tournament VODs. They're on the CCP Twitch somewhere. I just basically got done watching day one, and albeit I'm not I'm not entirely impressed with how everyone's been flying, but you know, that's me. I'm a bit like that. It's how I got the nickname I have in EVE, which is not something I could say here given my own restrictions on what I can say. So, you know. There we go. Now, we need to find some stuff to sell at Nook's so that we can get our money sorted out here. So, I'm going to dig out the fishing rod if I can find it. Here we go. We're going to do a little bit of river fishing. Because we have a bit of time to kill anyway, so... Because this first turnip price is probably not going to be good. I'm still going to check it. I just want a couple things to sell first. Assuming I can find anything. Here's a fish. Want you to be something new. 2, 3. Nope, it's not something new. Yeah. The Alliance tournament, actually, hearing about it a bit ago, actually got me logging back into the game. And my corporation has kind of fallen apart in my absence, but that always happens. I always feel like I'm such a bad leader, but apparently I'm not, because I tend to be the only thing holding the corp together. This time, the thing that happened, I couldn't have prevented even if I was on. I mean, albeit everyone leaving, no, I couldn't have prevented that. But, we lost a structure. And, yeah. I was the only one in the wormhole that we had this structure in. Which kind of made me really wish I could have just done everything I wanted to do from a POS, which is the old structures. These are new structures that CCP added for whatever reason. They're arguably worse than the old POSes were, it's just the mechanics make more sense to new players. So basically, they made a more expensive, dumber structure that does less because new players were getting confused by structures that a lot of them shouldn't have even been caring about. Like, that's that's where the developers were at. I mean, I can't blame them. Having something in your game that people don't understand isn't good. But the people it was relevant to understood them. The people that it wasn't relevant to generally didn't understand them. I mean, that'd be about the same as, like, you know, outlawing advanced mathematics because only a choice few people understand them. Or reinventing the whole thing so everyone can understand it, but making it dumber in the process. You know, and requiring a lot more work to do the same thing. I suppose the best way I could break it down is, with a POS, you could do everything you might want from one large POS. To take a large, but you could do everything. You could reprocess ore that your miners would be digging up. You could compress it. You could build with it. You could do basic little reactions. You know, you could do everything you wanted to do from one large POS. Currently, they're 97. I would have killed for that price a little bit ago, Nook. That way I could have made back more of my money. But they basically changed it so that if you want, say, to be doing reactions, which were basically the go-to way for small corps to make money, they were also the go-to way for larger corps to make money off of other players. That's a big misconception, and it's something that a lot of people don't seem to understand. Effectively, what doing reactions did is it took materials that the big alliances and groups were harvesting from moons and turns them into other things at a POS, which has to in turn be anchored at a moon. So it's giving up a moon to make more valuable materials. The only ISK that's trading hands is buying the stuff from these larger groups. They basically controlled the price, meant the price was pretty high, which meant the price of the goods being made was pretty high. A lot of people would always go, well, these reaction POSs are just printing ISK. No, they're not. They are printing goods, which are then sold for ISK, but that ISK has to come from somewhere. And yet no one's tackling where that ISK is coming from. But I am getting off topic about the kind of stupidity of a lot of the EVE community. Which, given the nature of the game, it's kind of surprising that there's a lot of people that see goods as having inherent value. They don't. Your goods have no value. Even in reality, your property holds no value until someone is looking to buy it. If someone wants to buy it, it holds value. And it holds a value of whatever they will pay for it. So, you know, if you look at, say, a cheese sandwich, that might hold the value of about $1.50. It's not a very valuable sandwich. Because, well, it's a very easy thing to just make on your own. And you know that on your own, you could buy the individual parts and make it for less than that. Meaning, you're not going to be able to charge, like, $4 for your sandwich because you think it's worth that $4. I apologize, I'm just talking basically economics here. I just want to note, though, in case anyone's going to take my information too seriously. Oh, Pom-Pom wants something. Hey, darling. Hey, so have you ever noticed how I always kind of greet people like that? Well, I'm trying to be more of a lady, and I think the folks here are ready for a little more from me. So, darling, do you have any ideas for a good greeting? I just might. Alright, I knew you could do it, darling. Give me your best one, rah-rah. Let's see here. You know what? I'm gonna go Splatoon again. She's gonna save Vimo. which is what the Octolings say. Vimo, look at me, I'm happy. Did that sound okay? Yep. Okay, ready, Vimo. Vimo? Wow, I'm getting all excited just saying it to myself, Rao Rao. Yeah, I want to know, what I've learned of economics is purely from EVE Online. I have never had a class in economics. Basically, what I know is from EVE Online and just generally what makes sense. And you might think, well, that means I'm going to know basically nothing. You'd be surprised. EVE Online has a very, basically, in a way, it has a very capitalist economy. It's honestly more of an ideal economy model than real life ones are. Because, well, everyone is on the same footing. Aside from base wealth. The richer you are, the better you can trade. The better you can trade, the more you can control the market. That's the same no matter where you are. Difference is in EVE Online, the goods you're trading, more often than not, everyone can get their hands on them. So everyone has a say in the market. In the modern day, you can't really compete with, like, Sony on selling cameras just as an individual. Because you can't really get your hands on all the parts you need to build a camera. And then sell it. And if you did, you'd be paying more than what they pay, so if your camera isn't a higher quality, then no one's gonna buy it. Because you're charging more for a worse product. Yeah, I have a donation. But like, say, in EVE, you're building, let's say, a Punisher, which is an Amarian frigate. Cheapest little ships. They sell for, I think, about 500,000 ISK. Sounds like a lot, that is nothing. But you build one, you're building it from the same materials as everyone else. Yeah, we already have the potato tail. So, and you have the same ways of getting those materials, too. You just strap some mining lasers onto something and go mining. Like, everyone's building the exact same thing. Unless they're taking their blueprint and upgrading it into a vengeance or retribution, but those cost more to make. They're also... yeah. You get the idea, though, I'd hope. Let's see if I can store any of these here. Oh, one of them stored. The mini crocoid. There we go, so only one of them that we can't store here. I don't really want coffee. But like, that's the basic economics of EVE anyway. But the main thing you need to avoid falling into the trap of, and that is thinking that the Punisher you just built has value. It doesn't until you're selling it. Its value is 0. It is 0 ISK. And once you've sold it, the person who bought it from you does not gain the value of what they spent. There's a dig spot. Another gyroid. So they don't gain that value. They've lost ISK. You've gained ISK. ISK is the value. I might have a really weird way of thinking economics, but... like, once again, let's use the Punisher for example. That 500,000 ISK you just spent to buy one is in the hands of the other person now. That ISK is still in the universe, so if your Punisher explodes, that 500,000 ISK isn't gone from the universe. It is now in someone else's hands. And right now we're basically just waiting for the clock to tick over. Like, that is a trap that so many people fall into. Is thinking that their loss matters to anything other than themselves. Like, I've had many people tell me that, oh, that multiple billion ISK loss would help, you know, losing multiple billions of ISK in ships would help the EVE economy. It wouldn't. And there's one main reason why it wouldn't. And that's, there's no... ISK comes into the universe, never leaves it. Well, it does, but in such small amounts, it may as well be never leaving. And that purely falls on CCP, the developers. They don't have adequate ISK sinks in place. Well, more currency sinks. I'm just going to stand here while we wait, because I'm waiting for the afternoon turnip prices. So basically, if I'm remembering the exact numbers right, for every, let's say, 100,000 ISK, which is about 1 NPC kill for a nullsec resident, for every 100,000 ISK, you might see a reduction of about 2% once you go to use it. That is what the game is taking out. It's nowhere near enough. I mean, you would think that, you know, if you're just looking at everything has value, you would think that, you know, 40 billion ISK Titan blowing up. That actually sounds remarkably cheap for a Titan, but still, you'd think that would remove 40 billion from the universe. But really, you'd have to look at the circumstances of the ship. Possibly, almost no ISK was removed from the universe. Because, well, let's see. To build a Titan, you might be paying out about maybe 20 million? If you're using an NPC service to build one, which you actually can't. But if you could, you'd be paying out about, 20 million. With how it's currently set up, you're paying that 20 million-ish to the player corporation that owns the station you're building it in. So that ISK isn't going anywhere. That's just being paid to another player. Now, that player corporation might have say a high-sec corp office, and that ISK might go into paying that, but it's unlikely. But let's say, for example, if you were paying that to an NPC, you would be paying out about 20 million. Sounds like a lot, but remember, we're dealing with at least 40 billion ISK ship. Now, if that ship was then built and sold to another player for, like, say, 40 billion, when it explodes, that 40 billion is still in the hands of whoever sold the ship. The Titan's gone, yeah. That ISK is still there. They're going to spend that ISK on buying the materials and building a new Titan. And then selling that Titan, presumably, to the guy that just lost their Titan. Because that person losing their Titan just made a market for a Titan. That this person who just sold one has more than enough ISK to just buy the raw materials and build a new one. There's nowhere in there, except for that 20 million building cost, is there any actual ISK leaving the universe. It would literally be the same as if when you were, say, in real life, if you were working your job, and your paycheck didn't have to come from a bank. It just simply was given to you for working. Because that's, in a way, how you make ISK in EVE. You hunt NPC pirates, which the NPC government just prints ISK to give you. It just kind of appears. It doesn't come from anybody. It comes from nowhere. You're basically printing ISK. Or money, in this case. If that happened, just try and think of what would happen to the economy. Money is never going away, but it is constantly generating. Things would inflate. And turp is 68. It's not looking good already. Do have a couple things here to sell. I'm pretty sure we already have one of those. Like, that is the thing that everyone seems to miss. Is they're all thinking of it in the context of the game. When economy and money, well, more economics and money, while they play a part, they don't fully work out anywhere, really. Like, if you're just looking at it numerically in the game, it looks like that Titan loss took a lot of ISK out of the universe. But it didn't. Same as in reality, that building burning down did not take money out of the world. That money still exists and will likely be spent again to rebuild it. eventually. A lot of times it's not worth it to rebuild a building because the building it wasn't worth enough in the first place. Because, well, money everywhere is kind of screwed. I apologize, I've basically spent most of this episode just talking economics. I know a lot of people, especially people who play Animal Crossing, don't really care. But Animal Crossing is its own stock market, so screw it, I'm talking a bit about economics. I went over a lot of the basics of it. And if you ever want to get into EVE, it's good to try to figure out that stuff for yourself. Or just listen to people like me. And to not fall into the trap of thinking that everything has value. Only ISK has value. Same as in reality. Only money has value. Don't fall into the trap of thinking everything you own has value. It doesn't until someone wants to buy it. And then depending on how used it is, and how much they're willing to pay, that's its value. Not what you think its value is. I was like that once. So don't feel bad if you're like that now. Yeah, with that, I thank you all very much for listening to me ramble on, and hope to see you again next time for more Animal Crossing City Folk. See you all then.